What have self-expression, initiations, and embodiment got to do with anything? Let's have a little discussion today and see how far we get on this, because I don't know about you, but there's some powerful energies going around and it doesn't seem like they're letting up. So we may as well learn how to master the waves that are radiating through our beings so that we can actually work with them in a very powerful way. And actually, it's like a daily initiation. Now, I don't know about you, but if you have not been initiating yourself or you don't even know where to start, well, I'm probably the woman to start talking to you about this. So let's see how far we can get. So, why do I talk so much about self-expression? Now, self-expression is really important, a really, really, really important part of initiating yourself to the next levels of accessing your genius and your genius codes within you. Now, I've started talking about this, but what do I really mean? What do you mean by your genius codes, Hazel? Now, I mean, once you have shed enough patterns and conditions of who you thought you were, you get to this next level, let's say, for want of better words, this feeling of something else is available. And this is where the intuition, your intuition, has an opportunity to start speaking to you in a whole different way. And this is where you start unlocking your genius codes of you, for you, within you, to guide you to the next level of what you know you are intrinsically moving towards. Now, I'm not talking to people who are very comfortable sitting on the sofa, watching the news and buying the mainstream narrative. I am talking to you powerful women out there who are perhaps hiding underneath the blanket of all of these powerful energies going on right now and actually wondering, what else can I do to access the genius within me? If you're asking this question, then this is why I'm talking about self-expression, because you need to give yourself the permission to express yourself in whatever way is necessary in order to initiate yourself to the next level of your own embodiment of your soul. How does all of that work? Well, I don't know. It's divine alchemy, isn't it? Everybody has their own way. So, why am I talking about this today? I'm talking about this today because, well, you may have seen I'm actually wearing a work in progress here. It's a kind of crown that I've been envisaging working on for a while. It's not finished yet. But I will share it with you again when it's finished. It's a vision that I had when I was drawing this piece of artwork. Let me show you this piece of artwork here. And if you have started to get to know me and following my work already, you will see what I started talking about. Self-expression, embodiment, and initiations, they're all intrinsically connected. It's an incredible alchemy of you designing your next blueprint to unlocking the next levels of your genius. Now, this is how I've been working, and quite frankly, you can get through any life situation and transcend in a deeply embodied way to the next level of your being and accessing greater levels of working with your intuition, etc., which is quite frankly, part of your genius. So I drew this. When did I draw this? A couple of months ago. And because if you've been following me, you've probably been realizing, there's a lot that I work with. I work with herbs, plants, I work with archetypes, I work with the elements, and it's really this living embodiment of living life as a ceremony. And part of my practice as well is illustration, as you probably know, because of my Soul Prophecy Oracle. And I'm also doing my own private journey at the moment with this other series of illustrations, of archetypal illustrations. Now, this is an embodiment, an expression of the chalice. It's another version of the chalice. But it's also she who stands in her power, she who works with the chalice as a sacred oracle. This is really Oracle of Delphi resurrection energy here that also comes through the power of working with the rose. And I'm not just talking about this like, oh yeah, I'm like no surface level stuff, right? It's like, have you actually worked with the spirit of the rose? I'm asking you this question. Have you actually worked with the spirit of the rose? Because until I started doing this, when did I start? I've been bringing the spirit of the rose in very strongly for the last 5 years. And this last year, I have been stepping towards the process of working with it as a medicine and watching how the spirit of the rose comes to me, awakens in me, and shows me the embodiment. Are you working like this? This is my question to you, because it's a very profound journey in coming towards a medicine, for example, the rose, and the rose coming to you, and finding all these different ways of taking the journey. So there is such a very deep, profound embodiment that, like I keep saying, you go beyond the workshop, you go beyond going to some event outside of yourself, and you actually become the living, breathing ceremony in yourself. It's so profound. Women and men can work like this. I work like this with my partner. He's doing exactly the same thing. Well, he's not making rose crowns, but you know, he's doing his own thing for this deep embodiment of the sacred masculine. Now, he's got me as a teacher, you know, great mentor of the arts. So there's always different ways in which you can access. Oh, hi Scott, how you doing? Love your crown of roses. Thank you. Yeah, it's a work in progress. It's not finished yet. Like I was saying, it first came to me in this illustration that I drew last year when I was more deeply aligning with the energy of the sovereign, the crown of the rose, the divine coding, also the snake energy. Scott, yeah, I've almost finished reading your book, by the way. Love it. About the sacred serpent and the chalice, and how does that all alchemize? And when you start mixing, I mean, this is true magic. This is true resurrection of your birthright of knowing how to work with these sacred medicines. This is true work of the medicine woman or medicine man, is alchemy. And this is why on the chalice training, I say to you, this is not an initiation that I am taking you through. I am guiding you to discover the portals that rest within your body that have perhaps been dormant. And now is the time to waken those up so that you can pass through your own initiation portals. And this is where you get true embodiment. And this is where this level of creation and self-expression comes from. So when you see a vision, when you feel, sense, see something that needs to be brought into form, you create it to embody it to a much greater level. Now, I have been a performer. I studied in the performing arts. I had my own theatre company. I'm also an artist. I've been a recognised and an award-winning artist for my creations and performances. So I have all of that in me. Now, I'm not saying you have to be an artist or performer, but I'm saying, let me speak to you and ignite this within you, because there's a level of self-expression that I'm sure that everybody has untapped within them. And that is where your genius codes can be activated. So activate activate your genius codes through self-expression and through listening to your intuition of what portals do I need to go through. And that can also be determined on, tomorrow we have the great alignment of 7 planets coming on a dark moon, on a new moon, in Pisces. Like, nonetheless, I'm a Pisces. Like, wow, I'm just like feeling and sensing everything to an incredible magnitude right now. But how can you listen to your intuition so deeply that it says, I'd like you to create this? What visions are you seeing? It can even be as simple as, what color clothes do you need to wear? My partner, he's got like this whole rainbow wardrobe where he's just like, he works with the whole color system. It's just amazing. I work in a similar way. But there's things like this that you can incorporate into your daily life that can be very small. That is just the ignition of you being in your life as an embodiment journey every single day. Every single day. And this will take you through truth portals of your own divine guidance, your own vibration, your own intuition, and activate your hidden gifts. This is taking inner work to a whole new realm. If you've ever done any inner work or psychology or whatever, they talk about helping the inner child and healing those wounds. Well, I've done so much of that these last years, working with portals in this way. You get to a whole other way of being, and you can get through anything. You can really get through any transformational events, life events, when you see that, when you're igniting your intuition that says, go here, do that, listen to this person, you then become a living, breathing stream of consciousness where you are functioning from that divine inner guidance, whatever you want to call it, and acting upon it. And this is why self-expression is so important. This is why I'm getting on these lives. This is why I'm wearing my crown. It's not quite finished yet. I have multiple crowns. You may have seen my feather crown that took me 2 years to make. That in itself was an initiation. And like I was saying, yes, I'm a performer and an artist and a creator, and I'm an embodiment coach and ceremonialist, yes. And I don't just create stuff to look pretty. That's why I say with my oracle, it's like, it's a true journey of human evolution. And to dare to express yourself to the next level, dare to awaken that truth of your life force energy from the deepest part of yourself and your being and your body, and to express it, and to express it in purity, is saying something very important. It's saying, I am here. I am not going to be suppressed. I'm not going to be shut up. I'm not going to be told anything other than, we're all great, aren't we? We've just had a really hard time. Us humans, we're having a really hard time. Let's face it. But when you can get through to the other side, like magic starts happening. And this is why I'm sharing with you one of my self-expressions. It's a work in progress, like I said, but it means something. The butterfly means something. Opening up to the new reality, cracking open the third eye, the crown, cracking open to a new reality, diamond consciousness, new wings to fly from that crown chakra activation. This is the level at which I draw every piece of coding and information that I download into every picture that I put into the Oracle deck, into every other illustration. Now, I'm sure these will become a book at some point. Every single piece of coding. And then sometimes I get these divine inspirations to like, yeah, my goodness, I actually need to create that rose crown that I just drew. And then it becomes a whole next level of initiation. And this is what you'll see with my bird woman pictures. Go check out on my Instagram. You'll see very deep work with feathers. Again, it's not about collecting a whole load of feathers and making like a crown with them. It's about contacting the essence and spirit of every bird on every walk that I ever did for 2 to 3 years, collecting all of those feathers to make that crown, connecting into the ancestral realm, reclaiming the indigenous nature that is in with your blood and bones that has been lost. This is the journey. This is the journey that I do every day of every moment, also with my partner. And it leads to exponential growth. It's a fact. I don't know how I would have recovered so quickly, and I'm still healing, from a lot of narcissistic abusive relationships in my life. But through these portals of self-expression, married with embodiment and initiation, you get to live a whole other level of existence. And it's much more freeing than just thinking, well, that's quite nice. I quite like that. Oh, I'm going out to a shop and buying a dress and wearing it because it looks pretty. It's a whole different existence. It's a whole different reality. So when you work with me, I'll be challenging you into what else is possible to invoke through initiations that you are going to be feeling into and designing with my guidance. How does that then translate into you creating your own sacred artifacts? Now, yes, we work with the chalice, but this is what I mean about you becoming the embodiment of the chalice. This is part of it. And so this initiation that I am sharing with some very powerful women who feel this already, they're like, yeah, this is really next level work. Well, I invite you into that because we're working with the essence and the spirit of the rose and the lavender and sage. And we're also working with the archetypes of the queen and Medusa and other archetypes such as the kraken and the sacred siren. These deep feminine archetypes. This is where you get your sexual life force coming back. This is where you get your passion and your drive to live. This is where you get the power to self-express. And this is, well, there's many ways, but this is one of my ways of sharing my gift of the alchemy of fire and water with you. And we use the chalice because we are chalices. We are, particularly as women, you are the sacred chalice. Again, I'll show you. I drew it. In this picture, she is holding the chalice, the energy systems, the healing energy as a golden healer between her hands. Like, again, if you work with Reiki or energy fields, we take this to a whole new level because I'm such a fierce dragon and because I've been through these portals of initiation, I'm going to share all of this with you so that you can ignite the sacred alchemist within you even more, like on a very, very profound level. I'm going to share this with you. It's going to be beautiful. So this is why, and this is what I was guided to over many years. I was shown many different ways in activating that chalice energy, which is here. And through that, through the refinement of that, which is your body as a channel for your own divine intelligence, you activate diamond consciousness, that clear streaming energy of next level awareness and consciousness. And it's all based on vibration. So it cracks through any bullshit. You know, I keep saying in my videos coming out, it's like there comes a time when we have to go beyond, well, that's your opinion, let's just agree to disagree. There's a greater truth, there's an alignment of truth, and that comes with this activation of, well, I saw a whole load of diamonds in my body, so what can I say? Diamond consciousness. That's kind of what, that's how I saw it, so I'm just translating it. And this is held in the sacred vessel of your hands as a creator, as a creatrix, in the beauty of your being and in the sovereignty of your being. Many, 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 many different codings to tell you that. So, yeah, and also, well, gosh, I won't bring up the picture again, but there's a waterfall in there, there's fire in there, there's water, and it's this incredible alchemy. I mean, what does it take? What does it take for a rose to grow? It takes more than a bit of water. It takes more than a bit of sunshine. There is an intrinsic force of power that surges through, and this is another way of looking at life force. But then we have the petals, we have the scent, we have the thorns, we have that straight line of, I am growing and I am going to make this and I am going to flourish and I am going to blossom. All of that within the archetype of the rose. And yeah, like I said, how do you take the journey to get to that level of embodiment, to understand, and that alignment and that oneness with that spirit? Now, you know, it takes a lifetime to connect with all of the different plants and trees and everything. It's really path of medicine, woman. But you know, if you're ready to start, you can start. And I will give you a lot of well, what can I say? You're going to get a lot. You're going to get a lot when you join me on the Chalice. Absolutely. Because it's also a very fast track way of you learning how to initiate yourself. And this is why the women who are coming in on this, they're ready for the next level, you know. And that's what we're doing. Divine alchemy, what can I say? So yeah, and of course it is about bringing that essence of creatrix into yourself, into everyday life, living it, breathing it, being on that alignment of truth. So you not only don't bullshit others or receive the bullshit of others, you don't bullshit yourself. So it's like, how can you clear your vessel as a sacred chalice enough so that you are living in this level of truth? And anything that comes along your way, you start to recognize as a vibration that does not fit yours, because you are aligning with a greater level of consciousness that is coming in. And you can understand and see and take apart the illusions. And let's face it, we all have illusions that we have to work through, all of us, from different levels of trauma. And you know, if we were really real about it, then everybody could actually start healing. But there's so much cover up, and we don't even know how to get there. That's also why I bring my partner in. He is the most amazing, clear vessel, mirror, masculine energy I've ever encountered. Now, well, he'll tell his own story. He has it on his website, YouTube. I'd go watch it if I were you. The Sacred Rainbow Warrior. But I was there to hold space for him as a clear vessel so that he could see that within himself. And this is how we've been working for 4 years. I'm also helping him ignite the creative essence within himself. all of this is initiations. All of this can be brought into your daily life so that there is no separation between, yeah, I had a nice workshop and now I've come home and I've got to go back to my job. Like, no, yeah, my life hasn't worked like that for the last 15 years. It's been a very deep embodiment of continuous initiations, some more pleasurable than others, let's say. So self-expression is very important, and I will teach you how to create your own totems, your own power tools. This is what also the chalice is, and I have created them and I will be gifting them to the women who come into the training. Because when you like I said, you don't have to be an artist, but when you dare and when you're guided, you know, with my expertise and mastery guidance into this, you will be able to connect with what you are creating so that it becomes a real power tool, a real tool of magic, and it actually has an embodiment of itself rather than just being something. Now, I've done this with so many artifacts. You'll see, like, my whole wall here is like one big massive altar with various different things. Like, this is my sacred siren altar at the moment, like with the mermaid, similar picture to the one I've shown you earlier. But there's a whole embodiment process going on. Oh my goodness, I'm in the middle of making something for the sacred siren as well. Gosh, it's like downstairs in the in my studio area. I'll have to yeah, well, I'll have to make that one soon as well. Super exciting. So I think when I die, basically, there's going to be this whole sort of exhibition of artifacts where they're going to be like, oh yeah, this is when she did this, and this when she did that, when she embodied the rose, when she you know, it's like I'm going to have to find somebody to pass them on to as inheritance. Anyway, where was I? I digress. I am going to be guiding the women who work with me into creating these artifacts as well, where necessary. And this is where I go beyond, like I said, the workshop. We don't just sit down and I teach everybody to make a talking stick. No, doesn't work like that with me. It's if the inner call is coming from within you to create a certain artifact, we will journey into that spirit of that artifact so that you make it, you know why you're making it, you get the divine instructions of how to make it, and you use it as part of your initiation into working with the chalice, your vessel, and all that comes with it. This is why it's rather challenging to describe in one way what is the chalice initiation, because it is in itself a really big portal of alchemy, and anything could come out of it. You know, I'm also a singer as well as a performer, and I'm working on liberating my voice again. You know, it's part of my healing of the shutdown of the feminine voice that comes when you've received really deep narcissism. Like, it wants you to not speak about it. And so part of me as well in coming out and sharing this training this year is part of my initiation. And this is how it works. This is how the restoration of the new earth that we are creating, if you are consciously moving in these realms, this is how it gets created. There's a divine order of the restoration of tribal energy. There's a divine order of how you awaken yourself and relate to another awakening being. Oh, got a lovely little message coming in here. Let's have a look. Thank you, Janet. Yeah. If you go back and watch the whole of the video, you'll see why I'm wearing this. It's still a work in progress. But I'm kind of bossing it today. The second wave of roses were dry enough for me to put in. So I'm figuring out what to do with it next. And it's, you know, fairly comfortable. So it's part of the embodiment process. It's part of learning how to self-initiate on a very profound level that brings you closer to you living a ceremonial life, a conscious life, an open life, and coming out, letting that inner expression come out, be shown, be seen, be made into artifacts that you use for you. I'm such like, let's make them, like we reclaim the artifacts. I've said this before, you go to Greece or you go to Egypt and you go to the museums, even in England, where every country, and you see all these artifacts behind glass, that apparently priestesses used to use, or in sacred ceremonies. Well, I'm like, hello, it's available. This ancient wisdom, this indigenous rooted wisdom is awake in your blood and bones. And if I can access that from my years of initiations, if I can help pass that gift on, then that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to do. And self-expression is a massive part of that. So yeah, I'm going to be well, just take a look on my website at thesovereignjourney.com /the Chalice. I'll put the link below. Next week the registration is going to be closing, but if you feel the call, if you're like, there's something else available, what is it, it's like, yeah, come and chat to me and we'll see if we can take this journey together. I'm really looking forward to starting this journey. I've been called through my initiations for many years to work with the Chalice, and I was like, how on earth am I going to do that? And because I'm really deeply rooted in authenticity, I didn't just go and get a whole load of chalices and then sell them, or I don't work like that. I'm bringing back the lost indigenous that we're all craving for. That's why I haven't put my work like forward, out into the world, because I've been going in on my inner world intensively for the last 4 years. That's what this big wake-up call has been for this last 4 years. It was a wake-up call to really go deeply within, and this second wave is coming. This wave, I'm also going to be sharing not only how to alchemize working with the herbs and the spirits of herbs, the archetypes and the fire and the water and their feminine and masculine, but also the portals, the energetic portals, because you'll see it's all connected. And that's one of my gifts, is dot connector. And it's all connected through the vibration of heart-centered consciousness. And the more you become a clear vessel, a clear chalice for channeling this level of intuitive wisdom, the more it really guides you in everyday life. And for example, if somebody, like something very simple, if somebody tells you a lie, or they come into your house and they behave badly, like usually in the past you'd be able to be like, oh, just get that over and done with, and go, I can't do that anymore. I one of my videos, I gave an example where I came into an encounter with somebody, and it was all this kind of like, hi, nice, how are you? And they left, and I was like, oh, I just like had to bend over and like energetically purge into the garden. It's like, no, like, no. And this, we talk about boundary work. Roses are an incredible guide for boundaries. And here we're again, when you clear your vessel out to the next level of embodied consciousness, you want to know about boundary work. Well, your boundaries just start arising. It's also like I'm saying, it's like, you want to know about the next level of sexual, sensual awakening. Well, clear your vessel out, become that chalice for your divine intuition, and it naturally starts arising in you. Like the rose is growing. Like it takes time for that to grow, and that energy, that life force, that that pulling up of that energy from the fertile earth enough to rise and come out and blossom. And this is partly why we work with the rose in the Chalice program, because the rose is a chalice and the chalice is a rose, and all of that is you, all of it. Not just a rose, we work with other flowers and plants which are also very, very powerful, aligned to this energy. Yeah, so if you have any questions, do feel free to ask me, drop me a line, send me a private message. And if you fancy, if you're curious about getting on the Chalice program this year, I would really I'd highly advise it. If you get on this first season, you will be, I'm doing a very special launch offer price for this first round. And the women that are coming in, I mean, they know me through various ways. It's next level work, so you probably, it's like, you know, it's not just like your next kind of having a retreat. It's like your next level of your life. That's what it's about. So if you feel that vibration, and if you resonate with wanting to know the truth, feeling the truth, getting to that next level of embodiment of your own genius on this level, then get in touch. Get in touch. And like I said, through these healing portals that I have been working on with the sacred masculine as well, with my divine counterpart, my beautiful man, he's coming in and giving some teachings, because there's places that us women cannot get on our own. This is why I've been able to heal like I have for the last 4 years after narcissistic abuse, because I've been working with a man. So it's so profound when men and women work together. It's extraordinary. You tap into a whole other level of consciousness that is totally beyond. And it's beautiful. It's so beautiful to work in a very psychic, intuitive way between man and woman. And men hold keys, like that women can do their women's work, right? And men can do their men's work, but they are not meeting. And this has been part of my investigation. Why are they not meeting? Why, if I was doing all that work, did I end up in another narcissistic abusive marriage? How is that possible? So with my partner, Alistair, when I met him, this is the place we led into. You lean in like an incredible, I want to say Indiana Jones. You lean in like Indiana Jones. And you take the journey. You take the journey to find the sacred artifacts. And that's what it's like working with your divine counterpart. Because there's things that men have, wisdom that men have due to the vessels of their sacred bodies that women don't have. And there's things that us women have that men don't have. And when you get deep enough, and when you're able to work deep enough together, you start to unlock these places. And you can't do it alone. I can only talk from my experience. I would not have been able to get this level of wisdom or healing had I not have worked so profoundly with a man. And you can't do it with everybody, because there's sexual energy that gets in the way. So what happens when you clean the vibration of sexual energy? What happens when you clean the vibration of desire and life force energy, and you become a clearer channel for that? Well, all I can say is it feels like miracles. It feels like miracles. Yeah. So all of this is part of the initiation. I didn't go away for many, many years. It was like, I don't know, oh my God, Indiana Jones, eat your heart out. Totally. Like, I don't know. It's been a long ride. It's been a long ride. You don't go away on that kind of journey and not come back with the gold, I tell you that. Anyway, have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. Get creating. Get active into accessing the next level of your genius through your self-expression, through the embodiment of the visions, the alchemy of your own divine inner guidance and your intuition. And if you have any questions for me or my partner regarding working with these powerful energies of how men and women and the keys that we have to unlock each other to the next level of consciousness and how to work with that, get in contact with me or my partner, and we would love to share. Because it feels like at the moment there's like this what next energy, like something else is available. And there is. I haven't been doing this work for nothing. Yeah, so get in touch and check out the link below for you ladies to join me in the Chalice program to initiate to a whole other level of divine alchemy within yourself, and something that's very, very real, very real. I might not ask you to make a rose crown, but we will work with what you need to make for you. And that could look like anything. Right, lots of love. Have an amazing evening. And yeah, make sure you create a bit of time for yourself in this amazing portal of powerful energies that are just blasting open consciousness right now. If you are tuned into it, just get the downloads, become the next greatest level of yourself. Goodness me, the planet needs a lot of heart-centered, beautiful beings, doesn't it? It really does. Let's pioneer the way, great creators, and I will see you again soon. Lots of love.